But yeah, so Pyre. I'll start off by reading some of the information about this game. Initial release date July 25th, 2017. Developed and published by Supergiant Games for PlayStation 4, Microsoft Windows, Linux, Macintosh operating systems. Genre action role playing game, sports game. And the cost is $20 or your regional equivalent. And the description of the game from their Steam page is Pyre is a party-based RPG from the creators of Bastion and Transistor. Lead your band of exiles to freedom through a series of mystical competitions in the campaign, or challenge a friend to a fast-paced ritual showdown in head-to-head versus mode. So, I don't know about you guys. Either of you guys tried the versus mode?
I have not.
I have not either. I've only done the campaign.
I did want to do some multiplayer games with, I don't know, one of either you guys, but
yeah, I feel like that would definitely be more interesting than playing against the AI, because the AI can be predictable at times.
Or OP as shit.
Yeah, either just overwhelming or yeah.
I did play some local games with some people, but they hadn't played the campaign, so they didn't really know how the mechanics worked. So that it took a little while to get that worked out.
We should introduce ourselves first.
Oh yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Say what your initial thoughts for the game. Just one sentence.
Okay.
All right.
I guess I'll start. I haven't done any of these before. If anybody's listening that has listened to previous podcasts, my name is Alec, and hopefully to be doing more discussions from here on out. But my initial thoughts on the game is that not necessarily the type of gameplay I usually enjoy, but I did enjoy the overall story and aesthetic of the game.
I'm Nick. Been on the previous ones, and I really enjoyed this game. From the trailer, I did not think I was really gonna like it that much, but it really got me going, and it really felt like you were on a journey of your own with them, with all the characters. So it felt really cool.
Yeah. I'm Zach. I've been here before, but let's be honest, there's nobody watching this. Maybe some people will if I get that other channel fucking up and actually upload stuff. But my initial thoughts are I was really looking forward to this game. I've very much enjoyed the other Supergiant games, and I played the demo for this game at GDC 2017, and so I was really looking forward to this, and I enjoyed it a lot. It definitely, when based on my experiences with other Supergiant games, this was not what I expected, but I still enjoyed it immensely.
Yeah, it was definitely not what I was expecting, because I didn't watch any trailers or really read anything about it. I just kind of bought it and started playing. So I had definitely more of an expectation that it would be similar to Bastion, and especially in the first couple of minutes when they're just introducing story and characters, it certainly seemed like it would be that way. And I was definitely caught off guard when it got to the first
gameplay.
Yeah, I was like, oh my, it was not what I was expecting at all, and it definitely dampened my experience at first, and it was kind of hard for me to get going. So I was expecting something completely different.
Yeah.
What should be your first topic?
I think probably the gameplay, just because the gameplay kind of ties into everything else.
Yeah.
Like kind of describing the flow of the game before you go over everything else, because I just don't know. Like, when we say we aren't expecting this game, it's because there aren't many games like this. I can't imagine too many other games that are like kind of a almost a visual novel with a lot of interactions with the characters, along with a sports game with like RPG elements. And
Yep.
I don't think there are too many games that are like that. And
Yeah.
I haven't played sports games in a very long time, but I definitely enjoyed this game a lot.
Yeah. So basically, what we mean by like a sports game is this: the gameplay part is it's a 3v3 battle, and there's an orb in the middle that you collect, and you have to bring it onto your enemy's side into what they call a pyre, and like douse the flame. Basically, it starts from 100 points, and each character that throws the orb into your opponent's thing reduces that 100 points until it reaches 0, and then you win the battle.
Yeah, and different characters do different damage. You have larger characters that do more damage, but they're slower. You have a variety of characters that have a variety of moves. You have characters that can teleport, fly, swim. You defeat each other with auras that each character has. The smaller characters have smaller ones, larger characters have larger ones. And there's a huge variety of like items you can give to your characters. You can level your characters up to give them different bonuses. It's like when I initially played it, I thought, well, this is kind of simple. I don't really know
Right?
how how they're going to keep this going for like an entire 10
'cause they
to
first-
12-hour game.
Yeah, that
They,
was,
they first give you the 3 characters, and they each play almost identical, except for
yeah.
one shoots a smaller beam, and one shoots larger. One's like slow, and one's super fast. And I'm like, okay, well, this looks like it's gonna be pretty simple and be repetitive, and I'll probably get bored. But when they start releasing more characters,
Yeah, that was definitely my initial reaction as well. I couldn't find myself getting too interested into it, but after I forced myself to, really play for a significant amount of time, I started getting into it a little bit more and getting a better feel for the mechanics and everything, and it kind of grew on me a bit.
yeah.
But
Oh, what's your guys' favorite characters that you used?
I actually enjoyed Bay and Joe Dario the most for a couple of reasons. Bay, because I gave her an item that I leveled up quite a few times that increased her movement speed, and then I had the perk that made it so that her sprint had basically no delay when it started, so she was just extremely fast, very agile, pretty easy to just run the orb in, but with her alone. And then with Joe Dario, I had the item that increased her presence, so the size of the aura. And with her already being a large character, having that large aura, giving her the item to make it even bigger and leveling that item up, she had quite a large presence that you could simply run over the enemy team with.
Yeah.
Which ones do you like, Zach?
Mine kind of changed as the game progressed, because like a little bit of a spoiler alert on the story, but your pool of characters to use gets smaller as the game progresses. We'll talk more about that when we talk about the story, but
Oh my god, yeah.
starting out the game, I definitely liked the fast characters just like running circles around the enemy until you can jump on in. Later in the game, I definitely, as the enemies got better, I definitely started playing a lot more defensively. Alec, you might not have this character yet, but you get a tree character. The tree dude that's with you, he eventually starts playing, and
Sandalwood.
like you drop. I started just playing with him because you just drop your tree dude at the pyre and you just keep him there, and it's like it's very difficult for the enemy to get through them, and then you just use your other characters to try to douse the enemy's pyre. So I definitely liked
the tree
fast
guy.
characters.
He if you like right click with him wherever your mouse cursor is, he like brings up this shrubbery or something, and
Yeah, I remember
And-
that one enemy. Yeah.
emits the aura. I used him for I did it right over the orb because it totally fucked with the AI.
Really?
Mhm.
I'm sure they knew that. It's like they wouldn't have let you.
Yeah, they just tried
They didn't
killing
want
me,
you to
but
do that. Yeah, if they didn't want you to do that, then they.
Yeah.
I don't think I got to the point where I could actually play with him on the team though.
yeah, it's much later.
I also like find it funny that you named that character Bay.
Yeah, I was going through all the options, and as soon as I saw it, I knew that I had to really.
Yeah.
It took me forever. I named mine Faye.
Faye, okay.
Yeah, same here.
It took me forever because I'm like, oh, what if this is like an actual choice and I fuck up and like,
Yeah.
is there a
Take your
consequence?
Yeah. You chose the wrong name.
We threw out his name.
Yeah, and then I also thought like, oh, do these have different attributes? Like, does this give her something different
Mhm.
based on her name?
I thought
Yeah,
that
yeah.
might be true as well. Yeah, but I was like, oh, I have to do Bay. It's Bay.
The characters I really liked to play with were definitely the flying ones, Promethea
Oh yeah.
and Tizo.
Okay.
Oh my god, I love Tizo's little jump thing. So fast.
Mhm.
Yeah,
and just flying.
Tizo was extremely quick, especially with his item that made
Yeah,
him go much
just
faster.
upgrade that. And then I also loved Sir Gilman because he was also extremely stupidly fast.
Yeah. I really like the witch character just because you can like
Yes.
you got your shotgun attack and you also got that huge jump.
Oh my god, and yeah, her attack and then her item, which makes you shoot through.
Oh yeah, that's
Obstacles?
a great item.
Jesus. Yeah, I used her a bunch after I got that. Yeah, I loved that each character had like its own little abilities. It really freshened up the game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it definitely
and there's-
started getting deeper dimensions once you started facing, enemies that had more abilities.
Yeah.
And also
you
when-
yourself having abilities.
Yeah. And also once you get past the part where you save your first character, you start getting these modifiers called Titan stars, and basically you can activate them for like things like you start the game with your Pyre at -30, or the enemy starts at +30, or your enemies are faster or something like that, and you also like level up your characters faster and stuff.
Yeah, did you use that a lot?
I used it quite a bit.
I used certain ones when I know for sure I was like gonna win.
Yeah, I used certain ones a lot more. Like I used the ones that changed the Pyre amounts a bit.
Yeah,
And
where it gives the enemy like a 30 extra.
yep, just because I wanted to like rank up my characters faster.
Yep. Oh my god, I tried the one where it makes your AI craftier. Whew, it really does.
Yeah, the AI I think was a little bit inconsistent at parts. Like there were some games that like maybe it was just my play style. Like certain AI were a lot better at beating my play style, but certain games just felt like, oh god, this is fucking impossible. And some games felt really easy. Some games felt like really good and balanced. Like the last match I ever did, that felt super balanced. And it was actually a very close game, which just made the whole thing like really good. But
Yeah.
I didn't. What were the different difficulty levels? I mean, I know it said you could change it, but I never really felt the need to.
I'm googling this real quick because I don't know if there is one. I think maybe what they are saying is it's that Titan star that makes them craftier.
Oh, okay.
So I guess technically we're on the normal level, and then clicking that basically puts it into hard mode. And I guess
all right.
using all the Titan stars would probably just is the way to say like, oh, this game's harder.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to try that at least one game, like do all the Titan stars, because I know that's an achievement to beat an enemy when you have all the Titan stars activated.
Does that have to beat one enemy?
I didn't really want to.
I think the most stars that I activated was 5, and that was pretty nuts. Like I almost lost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, since we're talking about characters, which character is just like your favorite character, not necessarily to use?
Just talking to. Um,
Yeah.
give me a moment. Alec, you go since you probably haven't met all the characters.
Okay.
Actually, how much of this game did you play?
I freed my first person.
Okay, all right. So yeah,
Yeah.
we don't have a whole lot of characters.
Yeah. So I don't. I would say my favorite character. We should do favorite and least favorite.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
I think my favorite was either Tizo or Jodariel, but I also really enjoyed the Worm Knight as well. Like I thought it was a very amusing
Yeah.
character, but he wasn't really
Like
my favorite.
a lot of his reactions made me think of him as like an anime character. Like just some of his reactions to some of the stuff.
Just
He was-
overreaction.
He was just so over the top,
Yeah.
and that was kind of silly. But yeah, I guess I'd have to say Tizo because like he brings like when you're first playing the game and you see the drive imps and stuff, it's like these weird little cat bat animals that
Yeah.
apparently power your shelter / cart. And then like Tizo's apparently this really intelligent, skillful at the rights, knowledgeable thing. It's like, oh, are we using like slave labor or something? So like I thought of when we met him.
Yeah, I never really understood that because like people were like saying, "Oh yeah, I was talking to the cart," and it was like, "Is the cart sentient?"
Yeah,
never
right. It
understood
took
that.
me a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love just how chipper and like happy Tizo is.
Yeah. He's a cute little character. Yeah.
Yeah. Who's your least favorite?
My least favorite, like actually character wise, would probably be either Headwind or Bay.
Headwind, no.
Headwind, because I don't know, he's like too average-y, like I don't know, kind of a stereotypical-ish character. I felt like
He does seem like a really simple, kind of boring template, but like I personally like him a lot because he's just really nice. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, he's a really nice. Like I don't hate him or anything. I just think he's rather bland. Like yeah, he's rather. I don't know. I feel like it's a character that I've seen before. You know,
I'd say it's the other characters definitely overshine him.
Yeah, they definitely seem to have a lot more personality than him. But the thing that I found interesting about this game is that the people you're against also have like tons of personality.
Oh yeah,
like,
I didn't even think about. Yeah, sorry.
Like there were a bunch of opponents who I was like, you seem all right. Like you basically learn the backstory of all of your opponents, and some of them are like, oh yeah, you're all right. You probably shouldn't have been like exiled to this place, and some of them are just like, you're a fucking piece of shit, and I really hate you.
Yeah, I mean, on the exiled thing, it's like from the game you can gather that they exile you for like pursuing knowledge and for being literate. Like, damn.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's
And then everybody's trying to get back. Like the whole game, I kept on thinking to myself, like, why don't they just start building their own like actual city somewhere?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Oh, I won't build off of that, but that's like derailing of our current topic.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it's going towards story, but yeah,
yeah,
it's kind of it's kind of like the whole Hunger Games situation. Like you're all banished here, and you got to do this thing, and only a couple of you are going to get to go back.
Yeah, that's similar to that.
But yeah.
Who's your favorite, Zach?
Oh God, my favorite. Also, can my least favorite character be one of our opponents? Does it have to be like one of the characters from the cart?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Ooh, I would have changed
Okay.
mine.
Yeah, there weren't too many characters in the cart that I actually didn't particularly like. I didn't really like Volfred Sandalwood initially when he got to the cart,
He seems
because
shady as fuck.
yeah, it was like you're here and you act like you run the place, and
Yeah, you got this plan
you're,
that you
you're
keep saying?
yeah, you keep talking about all this shit and you don't explain any of it, so I don't really trust you that much. And he turns out to be an okay guy. Person I like the most, gosh, that's a tough one. I probably like Sir Gilman, just like his backstory and
Huh.
trying to regain his honor and shit. I also like Joe Dario. I was watching, I was like on Twitter for part of the way initially when this game came out, and people were like in this big like fight of like who is the best character, and lots of people were like Joe Dario, and a lot of people really liked Sandra, the orb lady, which I can kind of see.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was definitely an interesting character. I liked all of the interactions with her. Is, you know, someone who's been permanently banished for 900 or 847 years or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I thought she had some interesting bitchy lines.
Yeah, I loved how condescending she was to like everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, when you lose one of her trials and she's like, "All right, you ready for more pain? Let's do this."
Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah, the least favorite character I had who was like one of your opponents was probably Manly Tinderstaff. The tree dude.
The one dude who like made the arena smaller and was like overly polite cheater or whatever.
Yeah, I really hated that one because it was like, oh, yeah, it really fucked with my playing style, like having fast characters and running all over the place.
Yeah,
and
me too.
It was just like, he's such a fucking pompous piece of shit.
Yeah, you're definitely supposed to hate him.
Yeah,
and they did a good job of making it feel organic. An organic hatred.
Definitely felt like he's would be a character you meet in life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite characters, I have a couple actually. Were definitely the initial three that you meet. I liked them all. They were all super nice and shit. For some reason, I like Rucky. Couldn't really give you a reason, but
yeah, they're all pretty likable.
Yeah,
I will say for Rucky / Rookie, whatever it is, I did not like him at all at first, and then I got to the part where I had the option to shave his mustache off, and I did so immediately. And after that, I started liking him much more.
Really?
Yeah, because I like from the very start, the mustache was just so off-putting to me as like, oh, look at this like silly little cur creature, and I was like, why does he need the mustache? And then I shaved it off, and I was like, that's so much better. So
weird. Yeah, I made him keep the mustache because I thought like, this is me. Like, why the fuck should I care what he looks like or anything? Like, you shouldn't care what people think. Like, keep it. And then he was like super sincere to me about that. He's like, well, thank you.
Yeah.
After I had him shave it off, he was like, hey, thanks. I feel better. He was the same way, I guess. So he gained the hope anyway.
Oh, seriously?
It sounds like, yeah.
Yeah, I think the game kind of does that in a lot of situations. Like you feel like you're making a choice, but in reality,
it's a
it doesn't really have any
negative thing or positive thing. Yeah, I got that vibe as well from like the destinations that you choose to go through, things like that.
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways this game kind of reminds me of Mass Effect in a bit
Oh,
bit of a way. Like the decisions kind of all go to the same direction, but you feel like you're making the decision.
Yeah, I see what you're
And
They,
saying.
they basically
Yeah.
write it in a way where either choice, pretty much the same outcome.
Yeah, like that speech you have to give where you can kind of decide what you say, but it's all basically like, yeah, we're sticking together, we're all friends, we're all gonna get through this.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, you guys want to move on to like the aesthetic or whatever?
Oh, for the character I didn't like, it's
Oh,
Bertrude,
all right.
was the witch girl.
Oh,
Just
all right.
never liked talking to her. Just like I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely didn't like him. It's a him, I think. Yeah,
No, I thought it's a her.
initially. Really,
It's a witch, isn't she? She's the bog witch.
I'm looking this up.
Is she?
No, because they
Bertrude.
totally referred to Bertrude as her, and Bertrude's also a female name.
Yeah, is it? Oh, okay. She
like-
is a bog dweller, once respected in the. Okay, yeah. She makes a comment one time where she thinks Headwind is hitting on her.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
She-
Yeah, I just remembered that.
Yeah,
Like I don't
he's like-
hate her. She didn't do anything to make me hate her, but like yeah, she does some of those comments where
Yeah,
which
her motivation definitely is like, okay, she joins your party, but her motivations are really just, I kind of like Sandalwood and I want to help him finish his plan. That's really just her motivation. She doesn't really want to get back or anything.
yeah.
And that definitely was like, I think the more I learned about her, I started to like her towards the end. Plus, she is like a really good character that I liked using. So I think I started to like her towards the end, but definitely for a little bit there, it was like, you're definitely not my favorite character.
But yeah, we can move on to the aesthetics now.
Yeah, and those will kind of be aesthetics and music because they definitely fit the music to the, like, I really like how they fit the music to the people you're playing against. Like, I really like the music for when you're playing the like Mad Max dog dude. I really like that music.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
Like, it
a
just-
super
it's really
nice
fitting.
change of pace when that hit. Yeah, all of the areas were really greatly designed, nice and colorful with lots of interesting shapes and
The
unique
art was
design
so
and-
beautiful.
Yeah,
overall,
it also-
overall aesthetic of the game, like 12 out of 10, just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I really like that every arena is basically right next to this giant dead monster.
Or something, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, something.
The designs of the Pyre sites, super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even like know what to call this art style or like really how to describe it.
I would say at least the characters themselves are really painterly. The
Yeah.
backgrounds in themselves are like
Yeah, like when you travel by
almost like
wagon,
watercolors.
I want to like describe it as like gem like.
Yeah, like church windows or whatever.
Yeah, slightly,
Yeah.
but not to that full extent.
Yeah,
I would like
but
church windows,
Yeah.
like a stained glass mixed with like a swooping Chinese art style or something like that.
Yeah.
Like
They-
East Asia art style of
It
just
did really well with the lighting, so I think the lighting really helped it too.
Mhm.
yeah,
I don't know, it's something that if listeners are listening, you just Google some images because it's very hard to describe,
Yeah.
at least for those.
Yeah. Google Pyre Rule 34. Do it.
Oh my god.
Don't do that. Don't do that. This podcast does not endorse any of that degeneracy. But yeah, art style, 10 out of 10. That's what I liked about Bastion and Transistor, both of them. Seems like kind of Supergiant's thing. They have like fantastic art, fantastic music, fantastic like storytelling.
Yeah, I loved the effects when you're in the arena shit.
Yeah.
like when you blast your waves or something. Like the lighting effects and just art of those are just really nice.
Yeah, like all the animation, like even those thorns coming in,
Yeah.
like the fire when you're in the fire spot. Like that was another way that they changed the gameplay up quite a bit. Is the environments definitely feel very different from each other. Like some environments have like environmental hazards that you like die if you jump into.
Yeah.
A lot of them are just set up in very different ways. But yeah, art style, music, 10 out of 10.
One song though is the minstrel's song. Like when you go to the final Pyre challenge or whatever.
Yeah.
Just like busts out his lute and just starts singing.
Yeah, super cool.
And it's just like, oh, this is epic. Like this actually feels like this match
like
here
fighting
matters.
for something. Yeah. Other than all the other ones where it's just like, oh, I'm doing this little game and then I'm gonna, like, you already know you're gonna beat him, but that one made it feel like there's actually something on the line.
Yeah.
I actually lost the final match. It was really close and I lost it. But we can talk about that more in the story section, because that, I think, actually led to a much more interesting ending than if I had just won it. But
let's move on to
something about the music still is, I think you can I don't think I ever did this, but you can have the minstrel play just a bunch of the different songs, just like just his version of it, and they all sound like really cool, I think. And also, if you would like to listen to this music, they put it up on their YouTube channel for free, and you can also purchase it on Steam, and I'm sure you can purchase it through several other ways. But it's really good. You should check it out.
I didn't know you seen different versions. Definitely have to check that out. But yeah, let's move on to gameplay.
We already went over the gameplay a bit, but
did we?
We could definitely do more of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we can pick back up where we kind of started off here, which is talking about our initial thoughts of you get 3 characters and they are just basically variations on doing the same basic thing, and so at first the gameplay starts off quite simple. You can throw the celestial orb to your other friendly characters. You can only play one character at a time, so you have to kind of micromanage all 3, which I
had a really hard time doing that.
Yeah, I've never played RTSs or anything like that, so I'm sure somebody who is a little somewhat versed in those would have an easier time, maybe. But
nope.
No.
I played StarCraft 2, and I would consider myself pretty good at that at that time.
Okay.
This did not work because it's only the orb carrier that can move.
Oh, yeah, you can't issue command. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I had the dilemma of like, okay, if I give one guy an orb and he gets like really far, like why? Like, I'm not gonna pass it back because they're gonna kill him, and then I'm down a player, and it's just like, oh shit, now my orb's like way closer to my thing. So I literally just used like one character to just douse it in the flame. I found it hard to just pass shit around.
Yeah, to actually utilize all 3 characters was certainly a task that I initially attempted, because it seemed to be the most, the synergies between using 3 characters over 1. You can obviously outplay a lot more, but with the abilities, that you can, shoot out your aura, even on the most basic of characters was often enough, at least on the difficulty I was playing on, that to simply eliminate them and then just run at the pyre basically with pretty minimal evasion. But once the enemies started getting different characters, it definitely grew into a more dimensional game for me. But the game does start off without too much variation, and it was definitely welcome when the enemies started getting more variety and abilities, and the map started changing to force different play styles, as we mentioned with the one where the arena slowly gets smaller and smaller. So it definitely
Yeah.
got better as it went on.
Yeah, and in between the actual Pyre challenges, it definitely felt like a bit of Oregon Trail ish, because like when you stop, you got different locations you can stop at to do different things. You can do these little activities. Which one did you guys focus on the most? Because you had study the book, which gave you like everybody permanent bonuses. You had study with characters, which made them level up faster, and you had to like scavenge for stuff, which could get you like more money to buy stuff from that fucking weird goblin dude.
Yeah, Ron. Yeah.
Yeah, I loved, like, I didn't mention this in the character part, but I love his character just for how like on the nose he is, because you're like at the top of this mountain right before you go into like your final thing, and he's there and he's like, oh hey guys, fancy seeing you here, everywhere you go to sell you stuff. And it's like, it's
I
just
love that
kind
you
of a
could
very
read
on the nose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I kept him muted the whole game because otherwise he
he's
just
always
makes
like
those little noises.
it's just hilarious.
Yeah, it was funny for a bit, and then I was like, okay, I'm trying to like look things over here. I can't focus.
Well, it's slowly
with
just
these-
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it got to me after a little while, but he was a funny little dude, definitely.
Mhm.
Shit, I totally forgot one of the things he said, and I was gonna say something off of that.
Which like of the little activities did you focus on?
Oh,
doing
yeah.
most?
Books, straight up. There's no question.
Studying the global bonuses.
Yeah.
Sure. I
I
actually did the.
I tried to grind for that a lot at the end of the game, but didn't do it quite as much as I probably should have.
I did the individual character level ups actually.
Huh.
And I focused all of those actually on Jodario because I
guess that's
her
more.
were really good and worth getting and stuff. Like when you eliminated someone, she gets all her stamina back, so you could just dash around,
Oh shit.
completely destroying everyone. And then
Yeah.
she had, like, enemies that she banishes are dead for like 3 seconds longer. So I just basically poured everything into her and made her a freight train.
Yeah, I guess that is if you like really want to stick with one character for all the trials and shit. I felt bad if I didn't use other characters.
Usually
I'm
that
just like
is-
I'll try to
yeah.
be equal with everyone. Like
Yeah, usually that's a thing that I feel bad about, but this game I didn't have too many qualms about it because I had a specific gameplay plan that I liked and I kind of stuck to it the whole time.
Yeah.
Speaking of gameplay though, you can definitely tell how they want this game to be utilized and everything through the AI. If you like put the cleverness trait on them, like you see them passing shit around and like getting crazy positions, but like that's the AI. They know exactly what they want to do and they have precision of exactly where they want to go and everything.
Yeah.
Where
Not-
compared to humans, just it's too hard.
Like pressing the wrong key and yeah.
Yeah. When I was playing this PvP local co-op, once people started figuring it out, there was definitely like a lot of different strategies. Like you had people who put a bunch of demons on their team and fucking blocked the shit out of you and just like slowly moved down the field. And then you got like people who like picked the birds or dogs or whatever and just tried to get around people. And yeah,
Can you
people
have
like
multiple of them on your team?
Yeah.
Cool.
In the versus mode, you can pick from like a bunch of characters from the Black Wagon and opponents, pretty much all your opponents.
Sweet.
So you can have like a team full of demons, or you can have like, you can pretty much set it up however you want.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I definitely would like to try it more.
It
Are
definitely gives
are
a bit of interesting variety when you can stack similar characters.
yeah, in the versus mode, are there items and their traits?
Yes. You can turn them off though. Like if you want to play a game where everybody's rank 1, you can do that. If you want to play a game where nobody has items, you can do that. You can kind of customize it however you want.
That's
Okay,
nice
cool.
that they give you those options.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely is.
Um.
What was I going
oh,
to say?
Okay. Well, if you forgot, I'd say.
You just go ahead. I'll think about it.
All right. The maps. I like that there's lots of different maps. Ones that there's like lots of sand dunes that block your path, or there's just like a crevice or something that you could fall into. I just like that they put obstacles in each map, and it is slightly different on each one.
Yeah. Like some maps, the obstacles actually like move around.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
yeah. The ice one. That was interesting.
yeah.
That was real cool. I actually used those a lot to my advantage.
Yeah.
I thought the
But
crystal.
yeah, the map variety was really good.
Interesting. Yeah. Um. Is our last topic the story?
Yeah. And yeah, so basically the basics of the story that you learn about in like the first 5 minutes is that there's this place called the Commonwealth, and it's got a lot of rules. And if you don't follow those rules, you get banished to this place called the Downside, which is kind of just really a really shitty place. And that's pretty much where you start. Your character, you the player, are actually in the game. You're the reader, somebody who can actually read and who conducts the rites for the Nightwings, which is the group that you're a part of for the game, which starts out with the original three: Jodariel, Hedwyn, and Ruki. That's kind of the start of it. And as you conduct more of these rites, which will somehow get your people back, eventually you figure out that you can only send people back one at a time. And we can go into more of the spoiler talk, what happens after that eventually. But so what did you guys think of the story? I really liked it. I'm not really sure what I think of the Commonwealth. Is it like another dimension? Is it originally when I saw like people getting sent back there, I'm like, are they being sent back to like heaven or
Yeah, for real.
yeah, it's like I don't think it is because it's actually like you got the blood border and you got the fighting between the harpies and the
Yeah.
Commonwealth, so it doesn't really it seems like a physical place.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was just a ritual of the rites or whatever. You know, the 8 scribes lifting them up and cleansing them and transporting them back to the Commonwealth, which I do think is just part of the
Yeah, I don't
physical
think they
world.
really gave us enough reason for these places, or really gave us enough detail.
Yeah,
Because
because
I'm like, is the Commonwealth that great to go back to? Like, you hear about like all these wars between everything, and you're like, down here seems kind of cool.
yeah,
Like,
and like I mentioned earlier, you don't like they banished you for wanting to learn, basically. It's like
yeah,
you really
so
want to go back to that place, and then I don't know, you learn that it's like, oh, you get wealth and status and things, and you're absolved of all your misdeeds and things like that. But it's like you really want to go back to that place after they just threw you out for presumably not really anything, a very very small crime, or
it's like if
it's
you
just
love reading books, you're just
yeah.
gonna go back there and just get thrown back in here for wanting to read a book or some shit.
Yeah, I think like yeah, they didn't tell like did you guys read the book that you were given a whole lot? Did you like go
Uh,
through it?
I read it, but I didn't read it cohesively. I was only reading it as soon as they became available, but not in any big chunks. So it was, I guess, a little bit hard for me to piece it all together when
yeah,
I wasn't reading it all at once.
yeah, I read them as they came out.
Yeah, same here.
But
Yeah, it was interesting learning the little tidbits, but it was hard to really make too much sense of it when I didn't focus on it
yeah,
entirely.
Yeah, and it's definitely a kind of like not necessary for the story of the game, but it's definitely like backstory gives you a little bit more information.
Yeah, I definitely like the mystery of like hearing about the Empire and things like that, and it's like, oh, hearing some of the past, and
Yeah.
it's good to hear more, learn more about the universe and get you a little more engaged.
Yeah, it's a very because I think it's a very interesting world. Like you got all these different races like working together and just like sentient black wagons and flying
Especially
shit and
like with Sir Gilman and the Harpy. Like the Harpies apparently regularly eat those worms. He's like, thanks for not eating me as you guys usually do. Like there's sentient races that fucking eat each other. Like and
yeah.
that's a regular, way of life. It's pretty barbaric, I guess, but
Yeah, that's it's just really like interesting with all the different races and seeing how they interact and how they interact with you. Like at one point, Joe Dario like asked me if I was afraid of her, and
yeah.
I was like, "No, I'm not afraid of you. You seem nice." And she was like, "Don't worry, I'll make sure you fear me eventually." And I was like, "What?
Yeah, she.
Come again?"
I mean, she was a demon, which
Yeah,
She was a softie though.
yeah.
she was.
So yeah, like I guess we can move into the whole main point of this story is like freeing people. So,
Yep.
who'd you free first, you guys?
I freed Joe Dario, actually,
I did too.
for two reasons. Because Sandalwood said that like she seemed resilient to, any influences that might be there when she gets back.
Mhm.
And also because I just liked her, and I felt
Yeah.
like
I'm like, you
I wanted
deserve
her.
this.
I was like, yeah, I was like, you deserve this. She'd also been there the longest, been in the downside the longest out of all the characters, apparently.
Yep.
At least according to Hedwin and Ruki, like between those three, she had been there the longest. So
Yeah. First person I sent back was Tizo.
nice. He's
Uh,
Not sure
innocuous.
why, I
No
just
one
like
will
the character.
suspect him for the plan.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like at the end of the story, they tell you like, oh, these people were good for the plan, and
Yeah.
the it explains why like each one of them individually is like good for the plan. So I kind of sent people back based on that, but I just kind of sent Tizo back because I didn't use him that much, and also because he seemed like an okay character.
Yeah, he was old and
I think Joe
wise.
Dario was the
Yeah.
second one. I think Joe Dario was the second one they sent back.
yeah, I had a system for how I sent them back. I'm like, basically, who gets here first is like next in line. So it was the main three,
Oh, sure. Yeah.
and then it was Bay or Faye next, and then was it Tizo? So yeah, I just went in order.
Yeah.
But then
Oh.
Makes sense.
then you soon realize that this is a spoiler now, Alec.
That's fine. I don't mind.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're watching the podcast, anything past this point, we already kind of spoiled it. Like you send people back, that's the big reveal. That's where the game opens up a little bit. But after this, it's basically like middle of the game to end game spoilers, pretty much.
Yeah. So yeah, once you go through it a few times, you then find out that you can't send everybody back. All of a sudden, these stars are fading away, and there will be a limited amount of rituals then. Which fucking sucked. I was like, no!
Yeah, I think if you do it perfectly, you can send everybody back except for like two characters, well, possibly including yourself.
Mhm.
But yeah, the stars start fading because of these Titan stars, which are like covering them out, and eventually it gets to like you do fewer and fewer matches before you go back to the final place. Eventually you're doing like one match and then you go right back there to free somebody.
Yeah. So basically, Alec, what happens, and other people listening, is your wagon gains wings, and you can freely click around all the map, and you just can freely
Yeah.
explore
Yeah,
the whole
I
thing.
like that. That was really cool when they
Oh yeah,
finally opened it up like that.
And also
was that
the
after
other
free?
Yep, that was right after you for the first person.
Okay, it's been a couple weeks.
I also liked the touch where the other teams are flying around in black wagons and you can ram into them.
I was like, we just achieved this like special rare thing that like we can finally fly again, and then it's like, oh, everybody else can fucking fly. What the fuck? I was like, I don't feel special anymore. Like it's supposed to be this rare thing. Like, oh, the scribes have truly blessed us with this working black wagon. It's like
It was
everybody
probably
else has
for
one.
only the people who participate in the ritual. I'm sure there's like tons of like towns and shitloads of people
yeah,
that don't
but
have it.
yeah, true, but still, it's like I worked for this.
I loved it when you like bump into anybody in the sky
Yeah.
and interact with them.
Especially if you like don't like them, like fuck you, Lendl.
Yeah, definitely. Fuck Lendl.
Yeah, guy's such an asshole. But
Yeah, so in the game I almost freed how many are there? 8 that you can free?
I think so. Yeah, 8 in total because 8 scribes.
Yeah. I nearly got all 8. I didn't lose. I lost one single game out of everything that I played, which pissed me the fuck off because it was one of the games where you could free people.
Yeah,
And
same here. I lost one of those.
was it against the bird bitches?
Yes.
Oh my god.
The birds were definitely significantly harder to play against than any other race, because of the fact that they can charge and not die during it.
Yeah.
So they could just
Also, they can
could
fly.
just blatantly charge into you and not die. Which
I
is
kept
super
forgetting that
frustrating.
you have to jump to knock them out of the air, and I kept forgetting that. I'm like, shit, they just flew over me right into my pyre. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my problem. Yeah, the bullshit where they cheated. They just literally moved 2 foot away to the orb. I'm just like, what? Like what? Like this is like the most important trial, and you're just gonna allow cheating like this bullshit? Why can't I just move up? And just like, so that was stupid. And then like I was kind of a little panicking there, and then like they get it, and then fly up, and I'm like, oh shit, I have to jump to intercept. Fucking kept clicking the wrong key.
Oh,
Or if you're clicking with your mouse, if you click one of your characters, you
Yep.
switch to that character, which fucked me over so many times, and then just it lost me that game.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I thought it was so funny where it was like, basically one of your characters is like, oh, one of these characters is my sister. You should let them win. And I'm like, I don't really want to let them win. And then they just like demolish me. And I'm like, well, I guess they're going back.
Yep. Yeah, I was also like, I'm not gonna let this bitch win. And then I was like, oh shit, she's gonna win.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And basically some story stuff that comes up after like second half of the game is you discover that there's another group called the True Nightwings. And basically it's some of the former members of the Nightwings led by this person who should have been saved. He was like pushed off a mountain when he was supposed to be sent back, and the person tried to take his place but died because you just can't do that. But I actually really liked his character because like he was a huge jaded asshole, but you can kind of see why, because he was supposed to go back and he didn't get to.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like he kind of grew on me.
It was justifiable of why he was an asshole.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked that at the very end you face him.
Yeah, felt
And
very poetic. And I don't like my ending with him is that they actually won, and then the bullshit happens where the thing that sends you back, like something changes and it turns red, and basically it's like, oh, you can choose to send anybody back, and
oh yeah, and then it's like, oh, you got to choose again now.
yeah, and that person, God, what's his name?
The demon dude.
Yeah,
I forgot his name too.
oh, it's Oralek. Um, basically, he got to choose somebody to send back, and I was like, I didn't like force him to choose me, but I'm just like, you should choose whoever you want. And he's like, hey, you're a pretty good guy, and it was a good game, and I was wrong to call you like the false Nightwing, so I'm sending you back. And I'm like, okay, and then I get sent back.
That seems a little weak.
Yeah.
That
And basically, like, there was this backstory of like him forgiving Sandalwood for thinking that Sandalwood betrayed him so long ago when he got fucking pushed off a mountain. And it sounds a lot better than I'm making it out to be.
well, it just seems like he says like, oh, you're a pretty good guy and worthy of Nightwings, even though he beat you.
Yeah, it
So
was
in my version, I won, and since it was the very last one, I'm like, oh shit, Sandalwood should go because it's all his plan. He's the leader. He should fucking be there. But then Sandalwood's like, no, I don't want to go. Like it should be. He gave me the choice again, and then I could also like pick myself. And then eventually I was like, oh, I'll just pick myself. Fuck it.
yeah.
Actually, I think I got to choose only between three. I think it was between Sandalwood.
Yeah, I don't think it really let you choose Bertrude, because it never really let me choose him, because he was kind of just the add-on character. He was a character who was like, oh, I don't really want to go back. He kind of felt a little bit tacked on.
Oh, was Bay/Faye also like a person you could never choose?
No, I could send Faye back. I actually considered sending her a couple of times.
Oh,
but
okay. I never got her trial thing ever.
it's based on how leveled up they are. I think you can only choose like either if they're past a certain point, or you can only choose the people on your team who are the most enlightened.
Oh,
I think that might be it.
Well, they're only enlightened after they take Sandra's test, right?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that's the requirement. If once they pass Sandra's test, then they're enlightened, and then they.
Because I passed Sandra's test with everybody, and it still wouldn't let me pick Bertrude for the last one.
Huh. I'm pretty sure I could choose Bertrude any of the times, but it never gave me the choice to choose Faye.
Oh.
But I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah. But yeah, after that, after the whole final conclusion thing, basically, like most games, kind of the Fallout thing, it's like, hey, this is what happened with all the characters. This is what happened with the Capitol. So I got what happened to the Capitol for you? Because I got my thing about 80% done, and it's like, oh yeah, it was a hard fight, but we were able to do it. Basically, the plan that Volfred has, his plan is to overthrow the Commonwealth, and he wants to do it peacefully. But the way I did it, I got it up to like 80% done, and it was like, okay, there was a lot of violence. The Harpies attacked and everything, but we were able to set up our new city.
Mine was also roughly 80%, but I didn't have that much violence. There was like some little conflicts, but otherwise it was pretty okay.
I can't really comment on that.
Yeah.
Finish.
Yeah, it seems like it's actually interesting, like that, like how based on how you kind of do that final game, it can be pretty different for
I guess it
depending
all
on
depends on
you
who you release.
yeah.
Um, I thought what was really cool is they brought up the whole character, like every single character on your screen.
Yeah.
And
Like
then
good guys and bad.
yeah,
And you can see like what happened to them afterwards.
you just click one and then it'll tell their after story. Like
Oh, that's pretty cool.
if like what happens after they were sent to the Commonwealth or if they were stuck at the place.
And the downside.
Yeah. And it's both for your whole crew and for the enemies. Like
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, that was really cool. I felt sad for some of them.
Yeah. I felt really sad for like Ruki was the person that I anointed for like the final one, and I was like, oh shit, Ruki isn't gonna get to go back. I'm so sad.
He doesn't get to go see his mama.
Oh yeah,
That's all he wanted.
yeah. And also like some of the like villains, the people you play against, I liked some of them. Some of them seemed all right. Like that old dog dude and his son, they seemed all right.
Yeah.
The
I didn't like
old
that
Kerr. Yeah, the son's all disrespectful.
Yeah,
but the old Kerr is a cool dude.
yeah, he's a very like honorable guy.
It did sound like the
Worm
son.
Knights.
It did sound like the son got better because Faye/Bay, they meet up again and like.
Yep.
Sounds like they start a relationship or something.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
And also like Sandalwood and that Orlac guy, they kind of become friends again, and it's the big old happy anime ending. But half the people are still like, actually most of the people you're against and some of the people on your team are still down in Shitburg.
Like that tree guy. Fuck that guy.
Yeah. I liked his end story. Like, yeah, he uses his family fortune to try to get back to the Commonwealth. He tries to build this huge ladder up there. He tries to fucking shoot himself into space to do it. And it's like, yeah, fuck you, dude. Or like the, I kind of like the story of the other dog, the dog character you're against, like the anarchist dude. He just sets up another like games, like an informal games. It's basically just playing the rights, but with like balls and stuff. And he just does that for fun and does it with a bunch of other people. But yeah, it was a very, very nice ending.
Yeah.
To a very nice
it
game.
definitely felt satisfying. So
Uh-huh.
the whole thing was definitely a lot of fun. It was a good ride.
Yep.
Yeah, I started having a better time the more I played, and I think I'll probably end up finishing it. Though initially I didn't think I would. But yeah,
it is definitely fun to go back and play a game here and there. The matches are pretty fun, so.
Yeah, they are.
Overall ratings?
What scale do we do this on?
Out of 10, I'll say.
All right.
Do like 0.5s.
I give it a 8.5 overall.
Zach?
I think I've said this before in other podcasts. I don't really like rating games because it's really subjective.
I guess.
Yeah.
Based on people. But I'd give it a 8 or a 9. Definitely, it's a very good game if you like this sort of game. If you like other Supergiant games, if you haven't played the other Supergiant games, definitely would recommend. Bastion's great. Transistor is better. Between this one and Transistor, I'm not sure which one I like more. I probably like this one more just because I like the characters a lot more, and you get more playtime out of it. But it's a very good game. Yeah, probably 8.5 out of 10.
All right.
Yeah, I would say I have to with probably like 7.5 ish to 8, probably 8, because I absolutely loved all the aesthetics, the music, and just a beautiful game. But the gameplay wasn't really my thing, and seeing as the gameplay is, a big part of the game, have to go with nothing higher than an 8.
Yeah, I'd say the art, music, and characters really pull this game.
Yeah, Supergiant does a tremendous, fabulous job in all their games with aesthetics and overall environment of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just all the stuff, the voice acting. Something that I kind of found funny is that I didn't realize until I saw this happen. But when you do a liberation rite, it layers the music that the minstrel and that lady are playing, Celeste. The music they're playing is layered over the theme music for the people you're playing against. So I didn't realize that until I was playing against those anarcho dog characters, because it's like this really nice, sweet music playing above this like really fast-paced like
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
music like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to pay more attention to that. That's pretty cool.
But yeah, it's a good game. Check it out. So it looks like the next game we're going to be playing is Slime Rancher if the votes don't change.
We got to keep in mind of Graham's comment.
Yeah.
What's Graham's comment?
I actually looked it up, and it looks like an all right looking game.
Graham's comment is voting for 3, 4, and 6. So I think it's a tie between Slime Rancher. Should I just put the thing away? Between Slime Rancher, Rhyme, and Transistor.
Okay.
So we'll have to do another vote between those 3 games and just make it.
Slime Rancher, I've only ever heard good things about, but I haven't watched the trailer for it at all. I know nothing.
I looked at the trailer and it looks pretty dope and adorable.
Yeah, I'm definitely, if any of those games got it, I'd be interested in playing those. Although I have played Transistor before.
Yeah, Transistor as well. I have not played actually, so I will. I mean, at some point I'll end up playing that on my own, but I do kind of hope that one wins because I know it's going to be good.
I hope it's right.
I kind of hope that one loses, but only because I've played it before, and I wanna play a game that I haven't played before.
Oh.
But yeah,
Right.
I'm sure whichever one gets picked, I'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
All right, well,
yeah, seems like
next
we're done.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Till we speak again. Yeah, I can stop broadcasting.